Okay, hey guys, it's been a while, probably a couple months at most, since the original video for this book. But, oh, by the way, this is my real voice, so, yay! Um, anyways, so, in the original video, I was not able to show you what was going on as I was recording or anything, but now I can, so yay. So there's the synopsis, or however the heck you pronounce it, right there that I read. If you want to read it for yourself, go ahead and pause the video or whatever, take your time to do that. Right now, I'm assuming you may have paused it. So, going up. So, do not let that fool you. Because although there are roughly 20 parts of some sort that I have made to this, they are not all uploaded. Oh, almost forgot. I also changed my username, so that's what you can find me under now. Instead of Bunny for Life, I am now Queen Bunny 04. Also, before we get started, I'm also probably going to read this book, not this one, and this one. So, this one is in the same series as this one, more or less, like in the same, the heck is it called? Universe. There it is. This is not, however, that's a short story I did, and that's an art book. So, going back there. So now let's jump in. Okay, so this is chapter 2, Ghosts of the Past. And like I said, I'm revising all of these. So what was the original has been lost. So, darn, screen acting up again. Him. He seems to plague my mind after that night. The memories of him when we were younger. He was so sweet and fun. Now, he's like the machine killers we hear about. And he came after me. But maybe... Phew, closing time, I announce, shutting off our open sign and locking the front door. The other lady in the store laughs at my eagerness to get home. A guy walks to the door and tries to open it. Poor guy. I open the door and he looks kind of expectant. I need to get something. It'll only take a moment, he says. I shake my head sadly. I'm sorry, sir, but we're closed now. Come back tomorrow. He looks at me before hanging his head and walking away. I always hate doing that. It makes me feel like a bad person. I frown for a second before taking my apron off. Doesn't seem like you care much, the lady Isabel laughs. I stick my tongue out at her, making her laugh harder. Just like the teenager I picked up 3 years ago. You haven't changed a bit. Yes, I have, I say, putting my hand over my chest in mock belief. We both break out in giggles and laughs. When we finally calm down, I have happy tears in my eyes. Oh, goodness. Do you need any help cleaning up? I think I've got it tonight, love. Why don't you go home and get some rest? I scrunch my eyebrows, curious. You sure? It's not too much trouble. She nods and I smile a little. Okay, then. Good night, Miss Isabel. Good night, Emma. You be safe now, especially with those people out, Isabel says with a more serious tone. I smile at her gently as I glance around the small art shop I work at. It has paintings everywhere, along with pottery, jewelry, sketches, and many other things. I love working here honestly, and the owner, Isabel Hans, is a very sweet and kind old lady. She has salt and pepper hair, very few wrinkles, kind blue eyes, and a motherly smile. Her skin has a copper-like tone to it, and she stands straight, demanding respect almost. Kind of reminds me of a lady I once knew a long time ago. My smile falters for a second before I regain my composure. I can't let the memories get to me. I can't imagine him or his family. The pain is too much. Yes, ma'am, and you too. The world needs more respectable women, I respond, opening the door to the shop. Belle smiles back, a small chuckle coming from her throat, like she knows an inside joke I don't. When you're my age, dearie, respect is something you were taught as a child. I laugh a bit and nod, waving to her as I pause on my way out to my car. I guess so. Have a nice night, Miss Bell. She waves back as the door shuts. Looking around the staff lot, I scan the trees surrounding the shop, and I swear I hear something in the bushes of the garden. The garden is a place where we plant flowers and other plants to try and help clean up the air, and sometimes kids come in and ask if they can have one, or if the community comes to pitch in with the work. We always have fun. Best job ever if you ask me. When I turn to scan my surroundings, there's nothing there, just darkness and a chill going down my spine. I try to shrug it off, but I just can't. The feeling is too strong. My heart starts pounding in my chest and my stomach flips, like I know something's wrong. I hurry to my car and quickly lock the doors, hoping that whatever's out there stays out there. Don't need anything or anyone killing me just yet. I have unfinished business. You're okay. It's nothing. I close my eyes, trying to calm myself. It works. As I turn on the car, I see a black object in the trees in front of me. It moves away quickly when the headlights get turned on. My heart stops. Just a deer, just a deer. I tell myself over and over, hoping this feeling of dread goes away. For some reason, though, it likes to sit at the bottom of my stomach like a ton of bricks. On the way home, the sense of being watched covers my body, making the hairs on my neck stand on end, and goosebumps cover my arms. I can't shake the feeling no matter how many times I check my mirrors or I look out the windows. It's just stuck there, like someone glued it to me. Okay, don't mind the fan in the background. I'm in my room. It's kind of hot. I pull into my driveway and turn the car off, finally feeling safe for once in my life. I'm tired of running from them, and the people that took him and tried to take me. I was able to get away, but he wasn't. My heart still hurts from the day he was kidnapped. His pained cries, tears falling down his face, blood everywhere. The people I called my second parents dead, the armed soldiers in black chasing me. Nausea floods my stomach as the memories of sweets and human brains fill my nose. I try to rest, but when I turn to look, the memories get louder in my brain. My friend's old house is next to mine still, only a different family lives in it now. They're really sweet neighbors that have an 18-year-old son, twin boys, and their mother living with them. Part of me thinks that their son likes me, but I'm not too sure. But the home only serves as a reminder of how I let him down. I ran to save myself when I should have helped. I can still see the soldiers taking him away in the unmarked van. I close my eyes as the memory plays in my brain over and over like a broken record, only I can't turn it off. Not that I want to. I deserve this pain for leaving him that day. Natalia! Someone calls out to me. I giggle quietly, hiding in the bushes. I know who it is easily. It's my friend Alex. We play hide and scare all the time. It was our own game we made up. One of us would hide, and the other would try to find them. If they did without making any noise, we would scare each other. "Don't you want to play with me?" He gets closer to my bush, causing me to giggle more and more despite my attempts to be silent as a mouse. I can hear him walk up to my bush and I grin. "Boo!" I stand up with my arms raised as my friend jumps back in shock. We both fall to the ground in a fit of giggles. When we're done, he lays next to me upside down, looking at my face with a goofy grin on his own. I grin back and look at the mess of curls atop his head. "You've got me 4 times and I've gotten you 3, meaning you won fair and square. What should we do now?" he asked, propping up on his elbows. His green eyes were always so pretty to me, and the way that they sparkle sometimes or get darker. But slowly, I notice his smile and the dimples in his cheeks, and the way his nose looks slightly crooked but cute at the same time. I feel my face begin to heat up, and I try to look away from his face, but can't. He's too attractive to me. I think I have a crush on my friend. I shake my head back and forth as fast as I can. I can't like him. He's my friend. Alex stares at me confused. "Want to go convince your mom to give us a cookie? They should be done by now." I ask him to keep my mind away. A mischievous grin spreads across his face slowly, and all I do is giggle as he shakes me, everything before forgotten. "Yes, I do. Come on, Nat." We both get up, racing from his backyard and into the house, pushing each other playfully to see who will get there first. "Mommy?" he yells happily. No response. He glances at me, the smile falling from his lips as fear and confusion sets in. "Mommy!" I peek in the kitchen and freeze, staring in horror at the sight before me. "AJ?" I whimper. He comes around and just stares. I see a tear or two fall down his cheeks, but he quickly wipes them away, trying to keep me from seeing him in a moment of weakness. A pool of blood lays by the oven, the heat coming out of it, with more blood splattered on the wall and counters. The cookie she was making sits on a pan on the stove, undone, blood soaking into the dough along with brain matter. The scent reaches my nose and I try my best not to throw up. It smells like baked blood, cookies, and death. But that's not the part that made us stop. There was a thick and heavy trail of it leading to the living room. His green eyes began to glow a lighter green, turning blue and eventually going into a deep sapphire blue. "Stay behind me, Nat," he whispers to me. I nod, not wanting to leave his side for even a second. He never used his powers on me before, but somehow I could tell when he did. It was a warm feeling as the fear was blanketed by confidence. Everything faded away, but became sharper at the same time. My senses became more alert, and I didn't feel as scared anymore. Alex slowly crept towards the living room, his arm out to keep me back. I don't think I'd mind if he used his ability on me more often. I like the feeling it gives me, even if it is some type of a false sense of security. We walked into the living room, freezing once again. "Mommy? Daddy?" His voice went small and afraid. He rushes to their side and starts shaking them, but their lifeless bodies just lay there. Their eyes were rolled into the back of their heads and their mouths were agape. The white couch his parents lay upon will now forever be stained with their blood in my memory. A gasp leaves my mouth as I cover it with my hands. Tears start to stream down my face. How could someone do this to them? Mr. and Mrs. Mickelson were some of the nicest people in this neighborhood. This was my second home. Countless summer nights, winter days, spring mornings, and fall evenings rush in my head as if my life is flashing before my eyes. I loved it here. I always felt welcome. They treated me like I was an extension of their family. Before I can get further into my grief, 3 armed men come running down the stairs and grab at us. My feet plant firm on the floor, frozen in shock and fear. 2 go for him, 1 comes for me. "Run, Nat!" Alex yells, pushing me away. My breath and heartbeat pick up as I race out of the room, past the kitchen and back outside. My feet feel like lead, and it seems like I run in slow motion as I reach the fence between our houses and open it, sprinting into safety. Turning around, I hear a blood-curdling scream. It's his. No, not AJ. The tears I had already been shedding brim at my eyes again and begin to fall down my cheeks. I wipe my eyes, but they still keep coming, faster and faster until I can't see anything anymore. My heart starts to hurt and I clutch my chest, trying to catch my breath and stop crying. I rub my eyes again in time to spot the soldier chasing me earlier as he emerges from the house, a gun in his hands. I shut the gate as hard as I can and lock it before running into my house and up the stairs, taking them 2 at a time. "Natalia, you okay?" a voice asks. I whirl around to see my mother dripping wet with a bath towel wrapped around her. My mother looks at me and the tears in my eyes get even heavier and I break down, falling to the floor. "They took him, Mommy, and they got AJ," I sob. My mom looks sympathetic as she walks over to me and wipes my face. She kisses my head and gives me a hug. I wrap my arms around her and keep crying. My best friend is gone. They came and took him like all the others. I thought we'd be safe from those people. I thought we would grow up together happily. This shouldn't have happened to me. But it did. And it's all my fault. I didn't save him. I didn't pull him with me. I didn't try to help. It's my fault. All mine. Shh. It's okay, Natalia. Mom strokes my hair as her own drips onto my shoulder. I lean into her tan skin, bawling my eyes out as my heart wrenches with fear and sorrow. Inhaling her smell normally soothes me, but in this moment, I don't want it to. It's not. I should have stayed. I should have helped him get away. I'm a horrible friend, Mommy. Horrible. My small hands clutch onto her bath towel as she hugs me tighter and holds me to her chest. I can smell the honey lavender soap on her skin, the scent having a slightly calming effect on me. They would have taken you too, Natalia. You would have been separated from me and your father. We would have to just lose our baby girl. You can't ask us to do that, love. You just can't. I can hear the pain in her voice, and like a light switch flipped in me, I wasn't scared, and I wasn't sad. All I can think about is AJ. He must have felt my sadness and helped me out, and helped me let it go. The tears stop, and I pull away from my mom, and offer a small smile and comfort, trying my hardest not to make her cry too. I know she likes Alex as much as I do. It's okay though, right, Mommy? I ask. My voice is shaky and uncertain. She looks at me confused for a second. Yes, it's a sudden change, but say the words. I need to hear them. He'll come back. He'll be back one day, right? I need to believe that my friend is coming back to me, that he's not leaving me forever. Her face softens and she smiles reassuringly and warmly at me. Right, honey. It's okay, she whispers in my ear, kissing my forehead. Mom hugs me one more time before shooing me off to my room to get ready for a bath. I follow instructions and head to my room, but then a small voice speaks in my head. It's all your fault. You call yourself a friend, yet you run away like a scared little girl at the smallest look of danger. No wonder he left. And with a so-called friend like you, I wouldn't come back either. You're pitiful and pathetic. Yeah, I know I am. I know it's my fault, and I wouldn't blame him if he stayed away forever. Maybe he's better off without me. I wouldn't want me as a friend either. I look out the window and place my palm on the glass. Alex, wherever you're going, don't come back. You don't need a person like me, I say. A lone tear slides from my eyes, and I turn away, letting him go as the black van speeds away. It's better this way. I open my eyes again as the awful memory fades away again, hopefully for the last time tonight. I'm no longer 5. He's gone and he's not coming back. Sadness flares in my chest, a longing for those days to come back. The ones when we would steal cookies and play hide and scare, our own made-up game. Or when we would play video games against each other until it was dark. The mini campouts we went on in our backyards, the woods we explored, but it's all gone now. The kid I loved and knew is gone. The old me is gone. And that's all the place does is take. They took my friend, my family, my friend's family, thousands of other kids, and they tried to take me. I'm a lone survivor. I get out of the car and walk inside my house, just as plain as ever. The living room is off to my right, the stairs straight ahead, and the kitchen to my left. In the kitchen, a counter wraps around the first 2 walls, the one closest to me and the one to the far back, and another from that one, creating a long bar. A set of patio doors sit behind the counter with a pantry right next to them. I don't have many groceries, but there's a small recipe box next to the stove and a microwave near the kitchen sink under the window. Cabinets everywhere. The living room reminds me of a movie set almost. A flat screen TV placed on the wall, a sofa and love seat arranged just so to make sure everyone sitting can see with ample walking room. A nice small wooden coffee table sits in front of them and a flower vase on it. My mom had a small tree on the end of the sofa with weird waxy leaves. I close the door and sigh, sitting down on the couch, leaving the house dark. I'm not in the lights on mood right now. I want to sit and sulk in my sadness and pain. Curling up, I try to recall that feeling of strength I felt back then, when I felt fearless and brave, like I could do anything with him by my side. I shut my eyes and pulled the blanket of confidence over everything as my head tries to block out the memories. I miss you, AJ, I say to my friend that isn't here. I know I said I didn't want you to come back, but I lied. I lied so you would. I need you. You're my only friend. Please, just come back to me. I don't care how. Just be here for me. I beg you. My voice cracks and breaks as I sob hard, my eyes leaking. Biting my lip to try and keep the pain inside, everything gets released and I can't hold it in any longer. I pull my knees to my chest, confronted with the ghost of the past. Why didn't you stay with me, Nat? Why didn't you rescue me? We could still be together, if you weren't such a coward. I know it's my fault, I yell at the voice in my head, my sobs louder. His taunts and insults play over and over. I press my ears flat against my head, crying harder and harder, but the past haunts me still. I hear him calling out to me, asking me for help. I'm sorry. And my body shakes violently as I fall off the couch and ball up onto the floor, everything in me breaking piece by piece. My heart shatters into millions of shards. I try my best to breathe and calm down, but to no avail. It just hurts too much. Are you okay? A voice asks. I open my eyes, trying to see past the blurriness of the tears. A guy stands in my living room, crouched in front of my shaking and broken form. He looks very concerned. I sit up immediately, wiping the tears from my eyes to see 2 deep green ones staring back. I stare at him. Millions of memories run through my head. Something about him seems so familiar. "Can you hear me?" he asks a little louder. I nod shakily, and he stands up, offering me a hand up. Oh, I nod shakily, and he stands, offering me a hand up. Who are you? I ask, my voice filled with pain and distrust. He smiles at me, and my heart skips a beat, but doesn't give me an answer. I stare at him, trying to keep my cool. Why are you in my house? I was walking by and heard someone scream, he states, still holding his hand out to me. I take it and he pulls me up to my feet, making me wobble a bit. Why don't you sit? I nod slightly, relaxing back onto the sofa. He reaches next to me, turning on the lamp, and that's when I get a good look at him. He's changed so much. His light brown hair isn't shaggy and messy like it used to be, but in a nice, even buzz cut, which astounds me. He hated getting his hair cut. His eyes are the same color, but there's something different about them. They look colder and more mature, somehow making him more hot. He wears a black suit that almost looks like these pajamas I wore as a kid, but I can still see the outlines of muscles. His arms got longer, as did his legs, and he stands similar to the way he used to, only straighter. The hands I would hold as we played Ring Around the Rosie are more defined with long, nimble fingers, but more firm. They're still just as soft to touch, accompanied by the same volts of electricity when even the smallest part of him touches me. AJ? I breathe, almost too scared to say anything. Like if I do, he'll disappear and blow away in the wind. Hope surges through my veins as happy tears start to flood my face. The guy looks at me confused. Afraid not, miss. Sorry, I don't know who AJ is. Are they supposed to be taking care of you? He inquires, looking around my home. I shake my head and he turns back to me. Oh, can I get you anything, miss? That's when I noticed it. The sapphire coloring in his eyes, that means his ability is active. No wonder I'm so calm. A strange man is in my house. Granted, it's my old friend, but still. Anyone who didn't know him would freak out. Heck, I would. But it makes me wonder, does he do this often? No thanks. I should be okay by myself. I smile at him and he nods, checking me out. Instantly I feel exposed, but some strange and demented part of me doesn't care and wants him to keep looking. And maybe a bit more. Stop it. This person isn't Alex. Well, I hope everything is okay. Also, don't leave your door unlocked. It's unsafe. The way he says that last word makes me shiver a bit. He smiles once more and leaves. I let out a huge breath, but I still don't feel alright. You're so different now. What do they do to you? I whisper, staring at the closed door. This was definitely not Alex. Alex would have waited until someone else came. I close my eyes, trying to picture the goofy, careless, smiling kid I grew up with and compare him to the man that just left my living room. I see the similarities, but not many. The kid I know wouldn't have walked in without knocking is something that stands out the most. I laugh despite the state of mind and shake my head. Thinking about it now, actually, the kid I used to know is gone. He's not coming back. He can't. He shouldn't, at least. Alex left me that day and I told him not to come back. And if this is him, why come back now? Sighing, I stand, slightly shaky from my mental breakdown, and lock the door before heading upstairs groggily. I go into my room and sit on my bed, still fully clothed, and I really don't care. Crying took a lot out of me. Laying down, fatigue floods my body, and it's almost everything I can do not to fall asleep as soon as my head hits the pillow. I was always good at listening hard enough to stay awake in case the soldiers came for me again. A dreamless state starts entering my brain, but slow, quiet footsteps sound on my roof. Now I can't just sleep. The window opens and someone jumps inside, landing softly on the floor. I know who it is instantly. Since they couldn't get me, they sent him to kill me, knowing it would be more hurtful to me since he's my friend. The bastards. He walks to my bed, and I can feel the added weight as the bed dips down. Like a sadistic idiot, my heart starts racing and thousands of fantasies run through my mind, none of which I have time for. Good luck with that, I say, sitting up. He stares at me in shock, falling over. I stand up and stare back. No one dares to breathe a word or move an inch. And that is the end of chapter 2. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I actually kind of had fun reading it. I had to pause the recording for a while to do stuff, but yeah. So the next recording will probably be the first chapter of Thieves in the Night by yours truly. Paige is just an alias, by the way, but I may read some of these other ones as well. That's just an art book. But yeah, subscribe, comment, like the video, and I will see you guys all later. Peace.